Hey everyone, breakups. Ooh, they're the worst.
Yeah.
Especially for Gen Z, right?
Yeah.
Social media and dating apps just make everything feel
Oh, so much more
more
intense.
intense. Yeah,
Like, it's just constant reminder.
exactly. And you know what?
Yeah.
We talk about this stuff all the time on the Gen Z Heartstrings podcast. But for this deep dive,
Mm-hmm.
we're going deep on this awesome expert guide we found all about coping
Okay.
with breakups and getting back on your feet.
Nice.
Okay, so here's the thing. This guide doesn't just dish out the usual advice.
Yeah.
It really digs into the why, which I love. Like, you know that whole no contact rule after a breakup?
Yeah, yeah.
They explain why that's actually super important. Like,
Yeah.
not just do it, but like why.
It makes such a difference
Right.
because you're actually giving yourself space
Yeah.
to heal.
So it's not just ghosting, right?
It's not about ghosting, it's about
There's a
intention-
purpose,
yeah.
creating that boundary and sticking to it.
That makes total sense. Okay, so let's talk about
Yeah.
setting boundaries, because I think that's something we all struggle with, especially after a breakup, you know?
Absolutely. Because when you're hurting,
Yeah.
your first instinct is to
Reach out.
reach out. Yeah.
Fix it.
Fix it, make it better.
And the guide says that's actually the opposite
It is.
of what we should be doing.
Yeah, it's like,
So how do we set those boundaries then? Like, what does that even look like in real life?
so think of it this way. Like when you get a splinter,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
You don't just leave it in there.
Oh,
It
yeah.
hurts to take it out,
Right.
but you have to, or else it gets infected. It's the same with a breakup.
So the pain of setting boundaries is actually
Exactly.
protecting us from more pain.
Protecting you long term. Yeah.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're pulling out the splitter. We're creating that distance.
Mhm.
How much distance are we talking about here? Like, is this a full-on no contact situation?
Yeah. The expert actually recommends
Okay.
1 to 3 months of no contact.
Wow, that's a long time.
It seems like a long time.
Especially for Gen Z, like,
Yeah.
we're so used to being connected all the time.
Communication.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it's tough.
It is tough, but okay, let's say we're committed to setting those boundaries.
Okay.
What about social media? Because that's like a whole other beast.
Oh, totally.
Do we have to delete our exes? Unfollow everyone? Like, what's the deal?
The guide actually makes a really interesting point about this.
Oh.
It's not always necessary to like completely wipe them
Right.
from your online existence.
Well, that's good to hear, because sometimes that feels so
It is. It's drastic.
static.
Yeah, dramatic.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
muting is definitely your best friend.
Right, it's like you're not seeing their stuff,
Yeah.
but you're also not,
Making this big
yeah,
statement
by deleting them,
unfriending, yeah.
unfriending. Okay, so muting is good.
Muting is good.
What about, like, creeping on their profile?
Oh,
Because I think we've all done it.
yeah, we've all been there.
The late night scroll.
Oh, the late night scroll, yeah.
Is that a hard no?
It's a hard no.
Okay.
The guide actually talks about this in terms of attachment theory, like
so.
how our early relationships shape how we connect
Yeah.
later in life. And so if you're someone who's like prone to anxiety
Yeah.
in relationships, you're way more likely to stalk your ex online.
That makes sense.
So yeah, just resist.
Resist the urge.
Yeah, resist the urge to scroll.
Okay. So no scrolling, no contacting. Like,
Right.
that's a lot of space.
Yeah,
I feel like that could be a recipe for loneliness.
it can be. And the guide talks about that too.
Okay.
That's where self-care comes in.
Okay, so tell me more about that, because I feel like self-care gets thrown around a lot.
Yeah, it does.
But what does that actually mean in the context of a breakup?
So the guide has this whole breakup recovery plan.
I love that. Like a plan, a strategy.
It's a strategy.
Yeah.
It's like first aid for your heart.
I'm into it. Okay, break it down for me. What's in this plan?
Okay, so they focus on 3 main things:
Okay,
joy,
right.
nurturing,
Okay.
and processing emotions.
Love this.
And each of these plays a part in
Yeah.
helping you like actually heal and move on.
Okay, so starting with joy, like, what are we talking about here? Binge watching our favorite shows, eating a pint of ice cream.
Those can be part of it.
Okay.
But it's really about things that genuinely light you up. Things
Okay.
that make you feel
Yeah.
happy, you know?
So for our Gen Z listeners,
Yeah.
what are some examples of things that could spark that joy?
Oh, it could be
Yeah.
trying that new dance class you've been wanting to take, or
Okay.
going to a concert,
Okay.
planning a weekend getaway with your friends.
Yes. Okay, love that.
You know, it's
Absolutely.
whatever makes you feel good.
So it's about
Yeah.
actively seeking out those things.
Yes, actively seeking out those things that bring you joy.
Awesome. Okay. So we got joy.
Uh-huh.
What about nurturing? What does that look like?
Nurturing is like taking care of yourself.
Okay.
Like you would take care of a friend
I like that.
who's going through a hard time.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
So think cozy nights in
Yeah.
face masks, chill music,
Okay.
maybe trying some
Yeah.
healthy recipes you've seen on TikTok.
I love that.
You know, prioritize your sleep.
Yeah. Getting enough sleep is
It's so important.
so important. Yeah.
It's all about being kind
Yes. Being kind to ourselves.
to yourself.
Okay. And then last but not least, processing emotions,
Right.
which I imagine is
Yes.
pretty crucial after a breakup.
Because you're going to have a lot of feelings.
Yeah.
So finding healthy outlets
Yeah.
to express those
Okay.
is key.
So what are some healthy ways to do that?
Journaling. Put on your favorite playlist. Just
Right.
write it out.
Yeah.
Talking to a therapist.
Yeah.
Talking to a trusted friend.
Yeah.
Even expressing yourself through
Right.
art or music or dance.
So it's not just
It's not about
talking. It can be
There can be anything.
other things too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I love that. So we've got joy, nurturing, and processing emotions.
Yeah.
But let's be real. Sometimes just getting out of bed feels impossible after a breakup.
Right.
How do we even begin to tackle this plan when we're feeling totally drained?
You start small.
Okay.
You know, you don't have to
Yep.
go from 0 to 60
Okay.
right away. It's about
Small steps.
small steps. Yeah.
So like instead of a full spa day, maybe it's,
Yeah, maybe it's just 5 minutes to
Yeah.
stretch and breathe.
or instead of writing pages in a journal.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
just 3 things you're grateful for.
that feels way more doable.
Yeah. And those small things,
Yeah.
they can really add up.
Okay. I like that.
And you know what's cool?
What?
There's actually science behind why these self-care things work.
Oh, tell me more.
So like activities that bring you joy, those release endorphins.
Oh, the feel-good chemicals?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then nurturing activities, those actually help reduce stress hormones,
Oh, interesting.
which allows your body to relax and repair.
Okay, so we're not just like masking the pain.
No, you're actually
Dealing with it.
addressing it. Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about creating distance, the importance of self-care.
Mhm.
What about those situations where like things get a bit more complicated? Like what if you were living with your ex?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, because then it's like you have
It's like a double breakup.
2 breakups to deal with at the same time.
Yeah,
The emotional and the physical.
exactly.
So what does the guide say about that?
So they really emphasize
Okay.
practical steps to reclaim your space.
So like how do we do that?
Okay, first things first. Decluttering.
Declutter it.
Pack away
Yeah.
the photos.
Yeah.
You know,
The GIF.
anything that's like a reminder.
Anything that's
Yeah.
going to bring back those memories.
Okay, so out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, so we've decluttered.
Then you get to revamp.
Ooh, I like this part.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
So think about what
Good.
colors, textures, objects make
Yeah.
you feel good.
Okay.
Maybe you create a cozy reading nook.
Ooh, yeah.
Hang up some art that you love.
Okay.
Finally get those fairy lights.
That's so fun.
is.
It's like turning your space into a reflection of
Exactly.
you, not the relationship,
Yeah.
but you.
Yeah, you as an individual.
Okay, so we've covered creating distance, self-care, even tackling the challenge of living with an ex.
Hmm.
What else does this guide highlight as like crucial for navigating a breakup?
So one thing they emphasize is that breakups don't happen in a vacuum.
Oh, that's true.
You're not just dealing with your own emotions.
Yep.
You're also navigating like the complexities of shared social circles.
Oh my gosh, especially for Gen Z,
Especially for Gen Z, yeah.
where friend groups are like
Yeah.
so intertwined.
So intertwined, yeah.
Yeah.
So the expert recommends having an honest conversation with your ex
Yeah.
about how to handle
Yeah.
those shared spaces.
So like setting ground rules.
Yeah, setting ground rules.
For how to be around each other.
Exactly.
At parties, events, that kind of thing.
Yeah, because you don't want to end up in awkward situations.
Yeah, especially if things didn't end well.
Exactly.
Okay, so setting boundaries with your ex.
With your ex, yeah.
With their friends.
And their family.
And family, yeah.
Because even if you really liked them,
Yeah.
it can bring up a lot of memories.
Oh, totally.
So the expert suggests
Okay.
limiting contact.
For a while.
At least for a while, yeah. Just to, like, give yourself that space.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about setting boundaries with, like, everyone in your life.
Yeah.
What about breakups within polyamorous relationships?
Oh, that's a great question.
Because those
Would have
have
unique
flux in it.
dynamics,
Yeah.
but the core principles
Okay.
still apply.
Okay, so boundaries, self-care, communication.
Communication, yeah.
Those are still important.
Still so important, yeah.
Okay.
And in some ways, they're even more important
Okay, how so?
because you're navigating
Yeah.
multiple
Okay.
connections and emotions.
So, like, if one of your partners decides to end things, does that mean you need to, like, hit pause on all your other relationships?
Not necessarily. The
Oh.
key is to be open and honest with all your partners.
Okay, so communicate.
Communicate, yeah. Yeah. Be transparent
Okay.
about what you're going through.
So it's almost like
It's like managing
you're navigating a friend
a
group
friend group, yeah.
where, like,
Yeah.
things have shifted.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Everyone needs support
Yeah.
and clear communication.
Okay, I love that analogy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground so far.
We have.
Boundaries, self-care,
Yeah.
different relationship dynamics.
Yeah.
But before we move on, I'm curious to know, like, what are some common pitfalls or mistakes that people make when trying to cope with a breakup, especially, like, in this age of social media?
Oh, it's so easy to fall into these traps. I think one of the biggest ones is like using social media as a weapon.
Ooh, yeah, I was going to say, like, trying to get back at your ex
Yeah.
or, like,
Yeah.
win the breakup online.
Yeah, the public shaming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that ever a good idea?
No.
Okay.
The guide is pretty clear on that.
So no matter how tempting it is to, like, post that
Yeah.
cryptic subtweet or,
Mhm.
throw shade,
It's not worth it.
it's going to backfire.
It's going to backfire, yeah.
Okay, so that's a big don't.
Big don't.
What about the do's?
Yeah.
Is there a healthy way to use social media during a breakup?
There is. Remember, social media can be a powerful tool
Okay.
for connection and support.
Okay.
It's about using it intentionally
Yeah.
to surround yourself
Yeah.
with positivity
Okay.
and inspiration.
So, like, following accounts that promote
Yeah.
self-love,
Right.
mental health,
Mm-hmm.
funny memes.
Money memes, yeah.
Just things that make you feel good.
Exactly.
Okay, so curating
Curating your feed.
our feed to
Yeah.
be a supportive space.
Exactly.
I love that.
So yeah, that's a big do.
Big do.
Use social media
For good.
for good, not for evil.
Exactly.
Okay. I think this is a good place to pause for now.
Okay.
We've covered a ton of ground in this first part of our deep dive.
We have.
We've tackled setting boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
creating a self-care plan, navigating social media,
Right.
even touched on the unique challenges of, living with an ex.
Yeah. And polyamorous relationships.
Polyamorous relationships. Phew.
It's a lot.
It is a lot, but it's good stuff.
It's good stuff, yeah.
Okay, we'll be right back with part 2 after a short break.
Sounds good.
So stay tuned.
See you then.
See you soon.
Bye.
Hey.
Okay.
Okay, so we're back.
We are back and ready to keep diving into this breakup recovery guide.
Awesome.
One thing that really struck me from part 1 is this whole idea of reclaiming your power
Ooh, I like that.
after a breakup.
Yeah, it's so easy to feel like you've
know.
lost your power.
Yeah, like you're just,
You're powerless.
totally powerless and at the mercy of, like,
yeah.
your emotions, the situation.
Situation, your ex.
Your ex, yeah.
Yeah,
But this guide is really about taking back control.
it is. It's
And one of the first steps in doing that, I think, is
Yeah.
dealing with those lingering feelings.
Ugh.
Yes, for your ex. Because let's be real.
It's the hardest part.
It is.
Because even when you know it's over,
Yeah.
your heart doesn't always get the memo.
No, it really doesn't.
Yeah.
It's like your head's telling you to move on, but your heart's like,
Yeah, but your heart's like, wait, hold on a second.
hold on. I'm not ready.
Yeah, I'm still attached.
So how do we deal with that? Like, how do we bridge that gap?
So the guide emphasizes that it's okay
Okay.
to still have those feelings.
Okay, so we're not judging ourselves.
No,
For
we're still
swearing
feeling.
to still care,
Okay.
even when the relationship is over.
Okay, so that's a good starting point.
Yeah.
Recognizing that those feelings are valid.
It's normal,
Yeah, okay.
but it's about not letting those feelings consume you.
Okay, so how do we do that? How do we,
So they suggest a couple of things.
okay.
One is to shift your perspective.
Okay, so, what does that mean?
So instead of dwelling on what you've lost,
Try to focus on what you've gained.
okay, so, like, instead of thinking, I miss them so much,
Yeah,
it's more like, what have I learned from this experience?
exactly.
What am I grateful for?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, it's about reframing
Yeah.
that feeling of loss
Okay.
into an opportunity for growth.
Okay, so it's like turning lemons into lemonade,
Exactly.
but with heartbreak.
But with heartbreak, yeah.
Okay, I like that.
They also recommend focusing on the reasons why the relationship ended.
That can be a tough one
It is
because it's easy to, like,
romanticized.
yeah, romanticize the past and forget about
Yeah, all the bad stuff.
all the red flags, all the
reasons why you broke up in the first place.
Exactly.
So it's about being honest with yourself.
Okay.
Like, were you being treated with respect?
Okay.
Did your values align?
Okay.
Reminding yourself why it ended
Yeah.
can help you create that distance.
Okay, so it's like a
Just a reality check.
reality check for your heart. Okay. And then you said they also talked about surrounding yourself with positive influences.
Yeah, people, activities, even like content online.
Okay, so it's about curating our environment
Yes, curating your environment
to be supportive.
to be supportive.
Okay, so it's like creating a
A little bubble.
bubble of positivity.
A bubble of positivity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that. So we've talked about like dealing with those lingering feelings.
Mm-hmm.
What about rebuilding our self-esteem after a breakup? Because I feel like that can take a major hit.
It can, especially if the
Yeah.
relationship involved, like
Oh, wait.
criticism,
Criticism,
negativity.
activity.
Yeah, it's like all those insecurities just
They come flooding back.
come flooding back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does the guide say about rebuilding our confidence?
So they really emphasize the importance
Like-
of challenging those negative thoughts.
Okay, so like what does that look like?
So instead of dwelling on, like,
Yeah.
I'm not good enough,
Okay.
I'm not lovable.
You consciously choose to think,
Right.
I am worthy of love.
Okay.
I am strong and capable.
So it's like we're basically
Retraining our brain.
retraining your brain. Yeah.
Okay, so how do we do that? Because that sounds...
So they recommend a few things.
Uh.
One is to create a list
Oh, okay.
of your accomplishments,
Okay, so like,
big and small.
okay, so it could be anything from
Anything. Yeah.
like landing that dream job
There.
to like mastering a new recipe.
You finally finishing that workout.
Okay, so it's about celebrating all those wins,
Yes. Celebrate your wins,
big and small.
big and small.
Okay, what else?
Surround yourself
Okay.
with people who support you.
Because I think it's so easy to like
You know,
internalize
the negativity
the negativity from our ex
from your ex, yeah.
and like start to believe those things about ourselves.
Especially if you've been hearing it for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's about surrounding yourself with people who remind you
Yeah.
of how awesome you are.
Yeah.
Who builds you up.
Who build you up.
Okay, I love that.
And then also self-care rituals.
Oh,
Okay, so like
boost your confidence.
what? Give me some examples.
Rocking a new outfit
Okay.
that makes you feel amazing.
Yeah.
A skincare routine that leaves you glowing.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
It's like pampering ourselves.
it is. It's about feeling good
Yeah.
in your own skin.
Okay, so we've talked about dealing with lingering feelings, rebuilding our self-esteem.
Uh-huh.
What about rediscovering our passions after a breakup? Because I feel like relationships can sometimes make us
Yeah, they could
Lose
throw a side issue
of ourselves.
Yeah.
Like we might put our hobbies on hold
Yeah.
or prioritize our partner's interests over our own.
And then when the relationship ends, you're like,
Yeah.
wait, who am I?
What do I like to do?
Yeah, exactly.
So how do we reconnect with those passions?
So the guide encourages you to reflect on
Uh.
the activities you used to enjoy
Okay.
before the relationship. Okay, so like thinking back to what brought us joy.
Exactly. What lit you up?
Okay, so it could be anything from like
Anything. Yeah.
painting to playing an instrument, writing, yeah.
Volunteering.
It's like digging through a treasure chest
It is.
of forgotten passions.
Of forgotten passions.
Okay, what if like those things don't spark joy anymore?
Then you try something new.
Yep.
That's the beauty of it.
Okay.
You get to explore.
Ooh, I like that.
You get to experiment.
Okay.
Maybe it's that dance class we talked about.
Okay.
Maybe you learn a new language.
Okay.
Join a hiking group.
Okay.
Take a pottery class.
So many options.
So many options. Yeah.
It's like this whole world
It's like a whole new world opens up.
opens up.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so we've talked about dealing with lingering feelings,
Mm-hmm.
rebuilding self-esteem, rediscovering our passions.
Yeah.
I feel like we've covered a lot of ground in this part.
We have.
And it's all about like
It's all about healing. Healing and taking care of ourselves.
and really it's about shifting our perspective
Okay.
on breakups.
Okay, so instead of seeing them as
It's failures.
failures,
Yeah.
we're seeing them as
Opportunities.
opportunities for growth,
For growth, for
and for
self-discovery.
becoming a
Yeah.
better version of ourselves.
Exactly.
I love that.
And, speaking of becoming a better version of ourselves,
Yeah.
I think this is a great transition
Okay.
to part 3,
Okay.
where we're going to explore even more strategies
Okay.
for building resilience and embracing the future.
I am so excited for part 3.
Me too. It's going to be good.
Awesome. We'll be right back after a short break. All right, we're back for the final part, part 3, of our deep dive into breakups.
Ooh.
And I don't know about you, but I'm already feeling so much more
Empowered.
yeah.
Like just
Talked about.
talking about all this stuff.
All
Like,
these strategies.
and you know what? As we were wrapping up part 2,
Yeah.
it hit me that breakups are kind of like those choose your own adventure books.
Oh, I love
who
those.
we loved as kids.
Yeah.
Remember those?
Yeah.
You get to make a choice.
Right, and it changes the story.
And it changes the story.
Exactly.
It's like a breakup is kind of like that, right?
It is, because it's like,
It's like this unexpected.
you're at this fork in the road.
It's like in the road and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, what do I do now?
Yeah, and you have the power to decide
Exactly.
which path you want to take.
You get to write the next chapter.
Yes. It's so empowering.
It is.
Because so often it feels like
Yeah.
we're just like victims of circumstance.
Right, like things are happening to you.
Yeah.
And you have no control.
Exactly. But this guide is really about
Taking back control.
taking back control
Yeah.
and owning our stories.
Owning your story.
And one of the ways we can do that, I think, is by really embracing the lessons.
The lessons that we've learned from a breakup.
Because there are always lessons.
Yeah. They're always lessons.
Even if it doesn't feel like it at the time.
Yeah, even if it's painful.
Yeah.
So how do we do that? Like,
Yeah.
how do we actually extract those lessons from, like,
So it's about
the wreckage of a breakup?
taking stock
Go.
of what you've learned about yourself
Okay.
and your needs.
Okay.
Maybe even what you're looking for
Yeah.
in a future partner.
So it's like turning those post-breakup reflections into valuable information.
Data points.
Data points, yeah.
Like
Right.
what worked in the relationship.
Yeah.
What didn't work.
What are our deal breakers?
What are your deal breakers? Yeah.
Okay, so it's like we're creating a roadmap
Yes. For
future relationships.
healthier,
Healthier, happier relationships.
happier relationships.
Okay, I love that.
And it's not just about romantic relationships.
Oh, that's true.
Right. It's about all your relationships.
Yeah, friendships, family,
Family, yeah.
even our relationship with ourselves.
Especially your relationship with yourself.
That's so important.
Because a breakup can really
Yeah.
highlight those patterns.
Those patterns, yeah.
The good and the bad.
The good and the bad.
Okay, so we're learning about ourselves. We're figuring out our needs.
Mm-hmm.
What about, like, the emotional side of things? Because breakups can be really, really tough emotionally.
They are, and the guide talks about the importance of
Okay.
allowing yourself to grieve.
Okay, because even if,
Because it's a relief.
even if we're the ones who initiated the breakup,
Yeah.
there's still a sense of loss.
There is.
Yeah.
It's an ending.
It is an ending.
And endings are sad.
Yeah, they are.
So it's about acknowledging that it's okay to feel those emotions.
So we're not trying to, like,
No.
push them down or pretend.
Yeah.
We're not sad.
It's about feeling them.
We're feeling them.
Yeah.
And what are some healthy ways to do that?
So the guide suggests things like journaling.
Okay. Talking to a therapist.
Okay.
Spending time in nature.
Ooh. Yeah, I love that.
Engaging in creative activities
Yeah.
like art or music or writing.
So it's about finding those outlets that allow us to
Release
those emotions.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that.
And remember, there's no right or wrong way
Okay.
to grieve.
It's about finding what works for us.
Exactly.
And, speaking of finding what works for us, I think it's so important to talk about self-compassion during this time
Oh, absolutely.
because breakups can be brutal
Yeah.
on our self-esteem.
It's so easy to
Yeah.
blame yourself.
Blame ourselves, yeah.
Feel guilty.
Guilty, yeah, like we did something wrong.
Yeah. And the guide reminds us that
Yeah.
everyone makes mistakes.
Okay,
Breakups are rarely ever
okay,
one person's fault.
yeah. It's usually a combination of things.
The combination of things, yeah.
So it's about offering yourself that same kindness.
Okay.
And understanding. Okay, so how do we do that? Like, how do
Okay.
we actually give ourselves that self-compassion?
So it's about challenging those negative thoughts,
Okay.
reminding yourself of your strengths,
Okay.
focusing on the lessons learned
Okay.
rather than dwelling on the mistakes.
Okay, so it's like We're giving ourselves a pep talk.
Yes,
That,
exactly.
hey, you're doing the best you can.
You're human.
You're human. It's okay to make mistakes.
Yeah,
You're still worthy of love and happiness.
exactly.
Okay, I love that.
Self-compassion is so important.
So important, yeah.
It's really the key.
Okay, so we've talked about, like, allowing ourselves to grieve, giving ourselves self-compassion.
Mm-hmm.
What about those situations where, like, we can't completely avoid our ex?
Oh, yeah, that's tough.
Like, if we work together
Yeah.
or have mutual friends,
Mutual friends
or even just, like, bump into each other
at the coffee shop.
at the coffee shop, yeah.
So the guide recommends setting boundaries.
Okay, boundaries again?
Boundaries are key.
Yeah, they are.
It's about having a conversation
Okay.
with your ex
Okay.
about how to handle those encounters.
So it's like setting ground rules for, like,
Yeah.
how to interact in shared spaces. Okay,
Mhm.
so it could look like,
Keeping conversations brief,
okay,
focused on necessary topics,
okay.
avoiding bringing up the past.
Okay, so, like, no rehashing,
No rehashing.
the breakup,
Yeah, no drama.
no drama. Okay,
Maybe just acknowledging each other
okay.
with a nod or a smile.
Yeah, just like
The polite.
a light acknowledgement, yeah. Okay, so it's about protecting our energy.
Protecting your energy.
Yeah, not getting sucked back in
Exactly.
to those old dynamics.
Exactly.
Okay, and I imagine this also applies to interacting with our exes, like
Friends and family.
friends and family, yeah.
Yeah.
Because those relationships can be
They're tough.
tough.
Yeah.
So what do we do about that?
So the guide suggests limiting contact, at least in the beginning.
Okay.
Again, it's about creating space
Well,
for
yeah.
yourself to heal
Okay.
without those constant reminders.
Reminders, yeah. Okay, and just to, like, reiterate, I think this is really important.
Yeah.
These same principles apply
Yeah.
to navigating breakups
Yeah.
in polyamorous relationships. So even though the structure might look different,
Right.
the tools are the same.
The tools are the same.
Okay, awesome.
It's all about communication, boundaries, respect.
Communication, boundaries, respect.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive
Uh-huh.
into coping with breakups,
Yeah.
what's, like, one final piece of advice or takeaway?
I think the most important thing to remember is that you are not alone.
Oh, yeah.
Breakups are a universal experience.
They are.
Everyone goes through them.
Yeah, everyone goes through them.
And there's so many resources out there to
Okay.
support you.
So if you're feeling lost, alone, heartbroken,
Yeah.
please know that you're not alone.
You are not alone.
And there is help available.
There is help available.
So whether it's reaching out to friends and family,
Yeah.
joining a support group,
Therapy. Online communities.
online communities, yeah, there are people who understand
Yeah.
what you're going through
And they want to help.
and they want to help.
So don't be afraid to reach out.
Reach out, ask for help.
Ask for help. Yeah.
And, you know, speaking of reaching out, we want to hear from you.
Yes.
What resonated with you most from this deep dive?
Yeah.
What's one self-care tip you're inspired to try?
Uh-huh.
Head over to the Gen Z Heartstrings social media platforms.
Yeah.
Share your thoughts, your questions, even your own breakup survival tips.
We'd love to hear from you.
We would love to hear from you.
And remember,
Yeah,
you are not alone.
you are not alone.
We're all in this together.
We're all in this together.
Until next time.
Until next time,
Take care.
take care.